Welcome back. Today I will be doing another of the live streams, reactions with live streams reaction. I'm reacting to live streams from Aurora. This is called Music for the Free Spirits, and I look forward to these. I know they don't get a lot of viewing time, or not viewing time, I should say, a lot of play because they're longer videos and they may not trend as much because of that. But I enjoy them, and it's one of the few times that I can actually relax and be sort of like with Aurora in a sense, and relaxed and just conversing with her, although she doesn't know that I'm talking at the same time when answering and so on. But basically, it feels very, very personal, just like I guess many of you feel when she does these. And I really like them. I wish all the other artists anyway that I like would do similar things, and maybe at some point they will. Just anyway, here we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Thank you again for coming to another of my quite slightly awful live streams.
No,
but at least now I have a microphone, and I think obviously it should sound a bit better this time than all the previous times. And you've been quite patient with me. Since you couldn't really see me or hear me the first time I did a live stream, then you could see me but not hear me the second time. But now, the beautiful third time, you can finally see me and hear me. Unless, of course, you can't. But I just...
She's just too much. She's funny. She's adorable. She's sweet. She's everything. She's just a very natural. Like I've said before, very natural light. I can almost see the glare of the light and so on. And now I don't know. It was this done. I don't know what the timing of this. This might be. I don't know when it was, but I don't see the crystal ball, so I don't know what's happening with it. But yeah.
I assume that everything is working perfectly fine, and that you can.
Yes.
And yes, I guess welcome. Welcome to another little live stream. Today we are going to talk about this new playlist of mine called Music for the Free Folk. I've always been a free spirit.
A free?
And a free kind of folk.
A freak?
I guess it has to do with the fact that I live in Norway, and I'm really privileged in so many ways, obviously, but I'm really privileged to have nature so up close and so available all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky to have the chance of escaping into the forest whenever I want, or climbing up a mountain and suddenly...
See, to me, she's the type of person that appreciates things, and I think that as long as we keep, we don't lose our appreciation for certain things that are, available, that are, I think that in itself is what makes a person feel good, because we as humans tend to feel like we always need more and more and more, in order to appreciate something, and we are desensitized, to things. So she's very sensitive, and she's the opposite of desensitized. She's very very empathic, from what I can see.
All the tiny problems seems even smaller, and you can get a clear view, an idea over everything. And it's really good for the mind and the heart. I truly don't know what I would have been without the mountains or the forest or the water or the fresh air that exists here in Bergen. Um, so I guess this is not only like nature is when I feel the most free. I think that's my point, because nature never asks anything of me, and the world is very demanding. For all of us, that the world asks a lot
Yes.
from all of us, and it takes a lot of strength, mind strength, to handle just existing in the world nowadays, because it's a very demanding place to be. Um, and even when we try to do good, we end up putting too much pressure on ourselves, which is quite sad.
She does feel. I get the impression that she's more in a somber, reflective mood, and it may have to do with the idea that now she has this what looks like a professional microphone, and so on. It may start to feel like more of a professional thing that she's doing, as opposed to what she was doing before, a playful thing, and I can understand that. Like you start off with doing something out of a care and like a hobby, and then it becomes like a job. After a while, and you lose something with that. And you try and retain it as much as you can, but like she said, there's so much pressures and so on. Like you look at YouTube, for example, if you don't if I don't continue to put out more videos, what happens is all the other videos that I did become basically disappear off the scope, in the sense of they're not recommended, nothing. So you always have to sort of, what is it called, like feed the beast, in a sense, the type of mentality, type of thing, right? To continue to survive and allow your work to be seen and so on.
But as long as you do something good, that's good enough. And you do the things you can do, and maybe one day you can, you can help in all the ways you wanted. But you have to help yourself first, and then you can help the world. As I always say, but it's very true. And I think many people will agree with me. I had a train of thought, which I lost again. I always lose the train. I always fall off it, and it goes so fast. Yes, I was talking about nature. Yes, I love being in nature because I get to experience, just being and not being asked anything of. I don't have to say anything or be anything or respond to anything. Um, like human interactions. Human interactions can be very tiresome unless they are kept limited. So I make sure I keep my human interactions very limited. And of course I have music. Music makes me feel like it makes you feel. I think that's the thing we have in common. That's why we're all here, because music makes us feel free. And since I know,
sorry, just to interrupt. I think in a way, I can like sort of like I can. Maybe that's why I'm comfortable with listening to her and so on, watching this. It's sort of like a kindred spirit, That's how I feel in part, I mean, she's much younger, but in the sense of like the idea. Much younger than I am, but I'm just saying in the sense of the way she thinks, I can relate to that, Right.
Fact that I am very, very lucky to have.
I can relate to how she thinks and how she sees things, because she has a very
freedom all around me all the time, because I have nature right there. I have the sea, I have the air and the mountains, and I know in my heart that whenever I want, I can escape for just a little while. But I know many of you don't have that in cities out there in the world, and that's why I've always made it an important mission for me to include a lot of nature in my music, to show you
Wow.
what beauty the world carries.
Wow.
I think once you've seen how much beauty the world contains, it's hard to not fight for its survival, if that makes sense. Once you've seen how beautiful and innocent and pure the world is, it's almost impossible not to care about the fact that it's dying. So I think it's the most kind way to inspire people to care. Because I don't want to ask people of anything either. I don't want people to feel like they're not doing enough. But if they see how beautiful the world is, I know that people will see it themselves. And you guys, you see so much. You see exactly the same things that I do. And we know that we have to do something about our current situation. And we know that we matter. And our touch in every battle matters. Which is really cool. I find it so inspiring all the time that we can all, like, nothing has ever happened unless no all progress ever has always been made by individuals standing together. That's freaking cool. But yes, I guess was my point, that I want to include in my music. And when I write music, I feel like it's my ode to nature always, and it always has been. And people are a part of nature, and the animals too. So my ode to nature and my care for nature is also for the people in it. And I've always tried my best to include as much as I can within every song of the freedom and the rawness and the depth and the dark and the light of nature and the world and animal instinct. It's so inspiring.
See, one of the things that she mentioned that she loses the train of thought and so on because there's so much going on in her mind. It's also she's trying to figure out how to say something that she obviously feels very strongly about, that is not necessarily a happy subject, because she's seeing the world sort of die and so on, in a sense, from the natural environment and so on. And she's trying to, encapsulate that into something positive. That's very difficult. But she says she loses her train of thought, but she doesn't really. That's actually quite impressive, because she can go on to different tangents and come back to the train of thought quite nicely. So that's good, because or else I'd be worried if she goes off and then she never comes back to the point. But no, she's very capable, and she has, even though she has this artistic mind, at least from what I see, that needs to expand and needs to go into different areas simultaneously. She does have control as well, in a somewhat analytical sense, which is quite good, quite interesting, at least from my point of view.
It's so inspiring, all of those things. But yes, what was my point again? Sorry. I try to include as much as I can, so we can get the sense of freedom that we all deserve. Or relief, of course. Sometimes you need sad music to get some pain relief, but I try as much as I can to put whatever is good inside the music.
What she said at the beginning, that we try and do good, but we can't put too much pressure on ourselves. And I feel like she's putting a lot of on her shoulders. That's what I feel.
That's why I never write when I'm sad, because then I don't have the proper perspective to write about something, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When I'm sad, all I see is darkness.
Right.
And when I write, I know that I need light.
Wow.
Because you need light to make music, or at least I do. So I always wait until after I'm done being sad, and then I write
See, it's an interesting thing. Sorry, I'm going to let her finish.
about it afterwards, because then I can see everything more clear.
See, she's okay. The impression that I have is she writes when she's feeling good, and that she's seeing things more clearly in a positive sense, and that inspires her to write. And what comes out is from that point mindset is something positive, and I guess she's determined that a positive message is more effective than a negative one. And normally it is, because there are two major selling points in society, in the way the things are structured. It's either a hope or fear, and they could both be effective in the sense of selling, the certain ideas, provoking action, and so on. But she's in the hope category, definitely. And and sometimes negativity inspires also some very artistic work. And I mean, just look at, for example, Alanis Morissette with Jagged Little Pill, one of the best albums I've ever heard, and one of the best voices too. So, and that was that girl was angry, but she expressed it in an artistic way. And sometimes art does that. It's therapeutic. So, for example, when I write some things, and I write, sometimes when I write when I'm angry about something, if it forces me to write things that I wouldn't normally write, and more poignant things, and pushes me to do that. So, but it doesn't come out really like a bright light. It comes out like a really angry, trying to do something, and I don't know. I think her approach is probably much better for the person. But like I said, the other one is somewhat of a therapeutic. So I'll write something, or somebody will have a different way of doing that, in the sense that they'll write as a therapy session. The thing, therapeutic. That's what I mean. So her, instead, she goes through. I don't know. It just seems like she discards, the negative. She deals with that, and then she goes into the positive and stays there, and that helps her create music, which explains why her music is so beautiful.
And it's also good. It's good that when I'm not in the mood for working, I don't demand anything of myself either, which I think you should not do, neither. Either.
But it's hard with a demanding world, right?
You should also do the same thing. Like whenever we're just too exhausted, or too broken, or too sad from everything going on in the world and in our personal lives, it's important to not demand anything of yourself and just let yourself be. Because you can do to yourself the same thing that nature does, in one way, if you say the right words in your mind. Okay.
I see. Okay.
So this list is music for the free people. I try to always to make sure that every day I do something that reminds my body of its looseness and freedom.
Oh, that's a long way to put a cup.
I often shake my head, which I know some people have mentioned.
Sorry, that's a long way to push your cup of water. I would think that put it there, put it behind you. I think I spill it on the piano, like I did the other day doing a reaction. I spilled it all over the place.
People are speculating oh so much about me and my mind. But I know many of you understand, because you're Many of you are like me.
Crazy, right?
And then I think all people are a bit strange. They're just not showing it. I
Strange.
find the normal people more strange. And
Yes.
they're not normal at all. At all. If you look at them real close.
Well, she's right in a sense. Like if the world is if you're a normal person in a crazy world, how actually wait, if the world is an insane place, for example, right, and you're normal in that place, what does that make the normal people, you know? That type of, I think that's what she's referring to.
But yes, people are speculating so much about it, what I am, if that makes sense. But I just shake my head because it's like the dogs do. And if they do it and it's good for them, I just assume that it's good for me too. To kind of just shake myself a little and to. It's proven that when you've experienced something traumatic, it's very good for the body to shake it off. It's
Literally.
like when you've been working out as well or running really fast, it's good to shake it off afterwards.
Isn't that interesting? Because that's where the expression "shake it off" means. You know, that it's a literal interpretation of how to get rid of something. You know, by just shaking it off. Yeah, it's quite interesting. I never thought about that. Looks like she's still scraping some of the candle wax that dried on her piano as well.
You get rid of that feeling of pain or exhaustedness.
Wow. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Which is also very interesting. Sorry, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just talking, but I guess I just wanted to share a bit of like why I think these kind of things are so important to allow yourself to feel free. If it's in the shape of dancing or singing out loud, or expressing yourself and being yourself, it's so important to have the sense of freedom. Freedom is one of the most prized possessions of mankind, I think.
Yes, I agree.
I value my freedom a lot. Oh, and it's so sad that even freedom is not a thing that we all have. It's incredibly sad. But yes, music can give these moments of freedom wherever you are. If it's just for 3 minutes or for 4 minutes, at least there's a tiny break there where your mind can just escape into something else. I think it's proven by those scientific people that music is actually, you can see it on the mind, especially when we're in pain or when we're grieving, when we're grieving, sorrow.
Yeah.
It's proven that music has a really big part of our process, has a really important part of the process of getting better, which is very interesting.
See, she's so knowledgeable.
Music is such a strange thing. I don't understand it. I don't know anything about music though. I know a lot about my music because it comes from here.
Yeah,
I know very little of music in general, which is interesting. I don't have any education either. But of course, you don't always need. Sounds strange. You don't
always need it.
It's not always that you need to have education to do things, because some things should not come from here. Should come from here, but also a little bit there. Like when I produce, I'm doing so many fun things. It's exhausting for the soul, but it's also very nurturing. This is going to be a very exciting year, my darlings.
Really?
Which is good, because last year was kind of like hell for many of us. Yeah. Should I say more things? No. I think I'm empty. I don't think I have any more to say. But I appreciate that you're all here with me. It's kind of magical. I'm kind of understanding it more now than the first two times. That the fact that we're all here together, sitting in our rooms. Can you imagine? Can you imagine all those other warriors and weirdos right now, sitting in their rooms all over the world, just being here together? It's quite magical, and I can see your activity there. I can see.
And again, she mentions warriors and weirdos, and and I understand that that's where what the fans call themselves and so on. And it comes back, but I still, in my mind, I was wondering why. Maybe it took a while to get here because of the weirdo effect, maybe, or something from when she was younger or something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, there's also the warriors of light. It's a lot of the words that she uses. She uses with that start with W. I know she likes M. She said the 1 million. She liked the M part. Maybe W, which is inverted M. She likes that as well. But yeah, I mean, I like the word dons. DAWNS. Yeah, there's a W in there too. For her and for her fans, because I don't know, at least at this point where she is at, because it's the symbolism and mythologically speaking seems to fit her quite nicely.
The hearts. And one person is sending like a lot of hearts again and again. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think
one person.
Now
everybody gonna.
It was kind of funny because before I started this live stream, I saw that it had already gotten 4 dislikes before I started.
Really?
It's great. Thank you so much.
4 dislikes? What? No, I don't know. I don't understand.
Maybe they just hate live streams. Maybe
they hate. She got 4 dislikes even before she started. Unbelievable. And this is what I mean, that the internet and this like, if it was up to me in the sense of like, because you want to leave that because it's part of the communication between the audience and your channel and so on, comments and likes, dislikes, but to me they're not really, especially the likes, dislikes are not relevant in the sense of this. I find them I don't find them appealing, because people put thumbs down, thumbs ups for different reasons, and especially the thumbs down. I never understand why anybody would do that unless it's really something something crazy. Yeah, but to put the dislike on, it's just.
Free people. Sadly, a lot of people seem to hate the free people. Or dislike. Hate is a strong word. But yes. Okay. I think, I hope the sound is better with this. I haven't really heard it myself out there, but I'm gonna try.
Oh, that ended. Okay, hold on. I didn't realize it. Hold on.
The sound is better.
So the video ended. I didn't realize that it actually. I thought she was going to sing a song.
Myself.
Anyway, but this is beautiful as it is, and yeah, I hope this was okay. I'm not sure if this is appealing to anyone, but yeah, I enjoy my time getting to know Aurora. I hope you do as well. Thank you. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay sound. Bye.